Our friend Peter from Nomadic has once again sent his flagship model, the Marai 401, for the channel to review. But this time around, this is an upgraded version. It has so many other features that make it unique from the previous version, but there's still some discussion about it and its similarities with the Tudor Black Bay 58. Now, is it really that similar to that very popular Tudor brand watch? Well, we'll find out. We're going to break down all of the design cues that make it similar and the many differences that it has. So stay tuned for that and watch if this Nomadic Marai 401 is a venerable and a capable upgrade against its previous version. Nomadic had an interesting and humble beginning as a brand that's proud to be designed, assembled, regulated, and tested in Belfast, Ireland. Not many watches can actually claim their proposed origins, as many microbrands are normally just assumed to have been largely produced from Asia. Nomadic's approach is that hardworking promise that needs to be examined to be appreciated. Because it's also very easy to pigeonhole this brand as just another company that wants to offer an alternative to an already popular watch design that also happens to be purposely designed to be an alternative to a much more legendary watch. The great thing about it is that all of them inherit the benefits of comfort fitting and the general acceptance of the masses. Now, aside from that, what more can it offer to make it an actual alternative to people that may have seen every sort of dive watch under the sea and over the skies as you shell them off as cannon fodder? Well, you just heard one of them. It's that nice solid clicking bezel that has the sound of weight and smooth buttery glide of an entry-level luxury watch. It's hard to notice that while swiping up your Instagram feed, nor is it as satisfying as actually caressing this narrow knurling on your fingertips. Another thing that puts it a leg up over the rest is its use of the Selita caliber. By experience in sourcing our own Swiss movements, I can assure everyone that it takes up much of the chunk of the watch's cost. Yes, I know, every watch pirate uncle worth his eye patch will tell you that Asian calibers will perform equally if not better than these overpriced Swiss movements. But for the vast, sober majority of watch pop goers, Swiss still holds the prestige that its price commands. Additionally, Nomadic throws in the microbrand darlings such as this Class Micro Adjust and the channel favorite Quick Release Spring Bars. All of these features are included in this very solid, high tolerance bracelet that every dive watch enthusiast would certainly appreciate. But if the watch is that close to the Rolex family, can you actually say you appreciate the Marai and not the Black Bay part of the watch? That's what part of my brain was thinking while I swapped straps on this Nomadic. And yes, it's pretty close to what you have come to expect. It's that familiar guardless case on a striped fabric NATO. If you own a well-spec'd and quality-built diver, it deserves a premium grade strap such as this Artem NATO. And quality build is, I think, the main selling point for the Marai. If I needed to pin down one single sales pitch, that would be it. Some may reason that this is a glorified advertisement for this watch, but truth be told, that is what makes the Marai something worth at least a try. One popular watch magazine remarked that the Marai's £1,000 price tag is, well, affordable. That's a few barrels of smoky rum, if I may say so. I'm pretty sure many of you would agree that's hardly affordable. But I guess that magazine caters on the entry level crowd more than the microbrand people. At least this premium silk strap makes more sense considering this strap alone is half the cost of a microbrand watch nowadays. So here in this premium dive watch, the expense for this strap is a lot more justifiable. Like many monochromatic dive watches, the Nomadic Marai is versatile enough to carry numerous strap colors to further enhance your wearing pleasure. Whatever attire you may have, it's pretty easy to pair this watch and strap so long as you have the time and hardware to play with. But back to the bracelet and build quality, there's enough to enjoy here with the Mirai to make it both an everyday workhorse and every night stealth wealth. At least for someone who's not accustomed to buying something that's over the $500 mark. Now let's compare the Mirai's offering against a couple of monochromatic divers that's available in the market. All three have excellent build qualities and it illustrates the value proposition for each watch segment. Beside the Wise Adamascus, a competent diver at $600, the Marai looks just slightly better with the crisper finishing and smoother operation. Both are vintage style watches, with one being a skin diver and the other the classic Submariner profile. Most would rank the 904L steel case of the Wise at Damascus higher than many 316L steel watches because it delivers a subtle, deeper brilliance and above average anti corrosive properties. With the price range that both are playing with, it's foreseeable that you can own both in the same collection, as these two offer two different visual aesthetics. These will give you a lot of opportunities to enjoy the watch hobby without putting much more attention to you being an enthusiast. Of course, when you're in a watch meet, the interaction will be completely reversed, as many might wonder why you're wearing a modded black bay. Beside an actual Submariner that's over 8 times the price, the value proposition gap is taken multiple levels wider. Some will still consider the Submariner as the entry point to the world of luxury watches, but for the vast majority of the watch crowd, the Submariner is the grail that many aspire to own. This illustrates the value of the Marai. For the same crowd, the Marai is definitely not going to be the starter watch, but more of an upgrade before going full Jack Sparrow on your financial situation on the Submariner. You two have your opinions about the Nomadic Marai, and this is what you said. Kicks to the Head 3705 says, I like it, but it looks like my San Martin 54 Homage. Andra Jevtovic didn't like the bezel despite my admiration for it, and he admits that he doesn't like it. It is too generic for his taste and there's too many writings on the bottom part of the dial. And finally, Chubby Cheeks says, it's the same one watch. I'm done with wristwatches. Unless you're buying something very special, it is all worthless trash. But is it really that same watch? Let's now move on to the inevitable comparison with the Tudor Black Bay 58. The Nomadic Marai has been mentioned as a homage of this very famous watch, and we could clearly see the similarities. If we look closely at the bezel design, we also have that narrow bezel profile that makes it very similar, and at the same time, it also uses very similar bezel markers. The design and the font type that was used in the Marai is very close to that of Tudor's. Another thing that we can take note of is how the 12 o'clock marker is also similar to Pneumatics, and this, in fact, is a derivative of the Submariner's 12 o'clock marker. So all of these design elements have been shared between these three watches. And of course, what the Tudor Black Bay has been known for in the past few years is the lack of crown guards, which the Submariner has, but the Submariner initially had. So the Tudor Black Bay is sort of a homage to the old Submariner, which is now being homaged by the Nomadic Marai with its lack of crown guards as well. That's not to say that all lack of crown guards has been an homage to the Submariner, but let us be honest here. The Submariner is one of the most famous watches in the world, and them dropping that crown guard really makes a difference and really makes an impact with many people, those who are paying attention to history. But now, there are a lot of differences that we can find between the Marai and the Tudor Black Bay. Namely, what we can see first and foremost is the lack of rivets. Now, these lack of rivets, they're not actual rivets in the first place, are now or has been always been not in the Nomadic lineup, and this makes it a much more cleaner look and gives a little bit more of a Submariner vibe to it, which inevitably is another comparison that we always make. Another thing that we can clearly see is that the Tudor has a shorter, stubbier lug compared to the Marai. The Marai has a longer lug, which makes it a little bit more difficult for certain wrist sizes, but it makes it a lot more different compared to what the Tudor is offering. The hands, of course, are a lot different except for the minute hand. As we can see, that's where Marai references the shipyard of Ireland. That makes it a lot more unique and ties it more to the area where it was originally designed. And finally, something that most people might tend to overlook is that the Marai has this very thin crystal frame around it that is actually missing from the Tudor Black Bay. So those are some of the elements that makes it different compared to this very famous watch from Tudor. And we can completely say, or we can honestly say, that the Marai did its homework and did enough to make it different compared to what Tudor has been offering. On close examination, whatever's on board the Marai is executed at a premium degree. The numerals are adequately retro and it's cleanly machined even under magnification. The indexes are also exceptionally clean compared to other Tudor Black Bay homages that may easily skip and overlook this detail. Even the hands, as boring as they may be, is also sharp and lint-free. The date window also works well enough, being unintrusive and in harmony with the rest of the dial. From the back, you can now see the movement and its new custom rotor that references the shipping yard origins of this diver. And this really represents the ultimate value of the Marai. It's that extra personal touch that many mass-produced dive watches do not have. Nomadic operates much like an independent watchmaker. They get their parts sourced out from their suppliers and then they carefully assemble and regulate each and every watch in their own shop. It's that kind of close attention that SpongeBob wholeheartedly approves against anything the chum bucket could churn out. And this is where a big chunk of that cost comes in. It's that intimate workmanship that we all enjoy from the higher end market, if you're willing to shell out the extra cash, that is. It's a great story behind it too. It's a premium watch coming from Belfast of all the most unlikeliest of places. It's that sort of community building aspect of the watch industry that you're happy to pay for but rarely represented in the aesthetics of the watch. However, in all honesty, if you're not bought into that story and craftsmanship, it will be really tough to sell you this watch. If you're that type of person that could barely read the date on your watch, I don't see you caring for the meticulous assembly of this Marai. But if you're tired of seeing the same watch over and over again and is looking to support a passionate and dedicated watchmaker like Nomadic, the Marai is more than a solid consideration. It's that kind of watch that beginners should avoid, but if he did end up starting with one of these, it's that sort that he'll be pleasantly surprised that he picked up. Oh, and don't forget, it's a well-spec and tough tool watch too. It just so happened that it's a little tough to buy into. The Nomadic Marai 401, and that is a very capable and well built watch from Ireland. And he was able to create a well spec'd and decently designed watch that has that very popular look, but at the same time, it stands on its own with its many different details, especially that seconds hand and also that very nice and well balanced dial. But of course, that price may be a little bit too steep for some people, but that's what you get when you have a localized and hand built, hand assembled watch coming from the brand itself. And I think that's something. But comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you have a different perspective aside from me because I have a very visual and very aesthetic driven taste. So I'm very eager to hear what you guys have to say.